Shall we begin?
This is Live Speak with your hosts Justin Gilson and Alan Kwok from thedigitalcraft.com. We're bringing you tech news, Kickstarter investment strategies, and anything else we feel like we need to discuss with you. Stick around, it's going to be a great show
On Live Speak Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to Live Speak Radio. I am Justin, as always. With me is Alan Kwok from thedigitalcraft.com. We're coming to you live on Spreaker.com as well as IndianaTalks.com. We want to talk today about online privacy. I'm personally a fan of my privacy. I don't know about you, Alan. How are you? You like your privacy?
I like my privacy in real life. Online, I don't care.
Online, you don't care. You can be naked and be online. That's fine with you.
Yeah, nobody knows as long as no one can see.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually we're going to have a guest on today, and he's Gabriel Weinberg from DuckDuckGo.com, and he's track any information or store any information on you. He'll be calling into the show here pretty soon. I want to play a quick audio clip, actually, that Jimmy Fallon on his show the other night actually did a tribute song with the name DuckDuckGo in it, which was pretty funny. It's about Google going down in Georgia. So I'm going to play that real quick, and we'll be right back.
Thank you, Google, for going down in Georgia earlier this week and reminding me of that old song that I love, When Google Went Down in Georgia.
Well, the Google went down to Georgia. Everybody said, what's the deal? Because they couldn't find anything online when they were typing in the searching field. No G-chat or emails come. Google is down and this ain't fun. Load up the Yahoo and DuckDuckGo. Should we use Bing? Oh, hell no. There you have it. Those are my thank you notes. We'll be right back, everybody, with more late night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Getting an amazing education is a must, but going to classes and listening to boring teachers can be very painful and expensive. Luckily, we have the internet, but it is so hard to find courses that are high quality, cheap, and easily accessible. Not anymore, thanks to Udemy. Udemy is the online academy for you. At Udemy, you can find hundreds of great courses from world-class instructors. You can learn stuff like how to create awesome demo videos cheaply, how to program in Python, Ruby, or HTML, how to start your own company, even how to wiggle your feet to the rhythm of salsa. But what if you want to teach others what you know? No problem. Udemy makes it super easy to create your own course in a few steps. Just create an account for free, give your course a name, upload all your content in any format, video, audio, PowerPoint, Word, PDF, publish it, and voila! It's now accessible to anyone, at any time, all over the world. You can even set a price for your course so you can make some money. Learn anything, teach anything at Udemy, the Academy of You.
Welcome back, everybody, to Live Speak Radio. I'm here, as always, with Alan Kwok from thedigitalcraft.com. On the line with us now on Live Speak Radio is Gabriel Weinberg. How you doing, Gabriel?
Hi. Good. Thanks for having me.
Good. I'm really happy you took the time to be on the show with us. I know you're probably really, really busy as of late.
It has been a crazy couple months with the wake of the news cycle.
I bet. I mean, I know that back in 2011, you got a little press because there was a lot of spam going around and things like that, and people were looking to DuckDuckGo for a little more privacy then. But now it seems to be privacy is a huge issue. with the stuff coming out with the Snowden whistle and the whistleblowing and the NSA stuff. What exactly is DuckDuckGo for those that out there listening that don't know what it is?
Sure. So DuckDuckGo is a search engine you could switch to today, and our argument is you get great results and great privacy. We focus on an overall better search experience, in our opinion, of course. I think you'll agree, with more instant answers, so less, clicking on random links and getting stuff with 0 clicks at the top, less spam, less ads, and real privacy. And by the privacy piece, which you commented on, is we don't track you at all. So when you search on DuckDuckGo, you are anonymous.
That's really great.
So,
go ahead, Alan. Alan has some.
Sorry. Besides privacy, why should people try DuckDuckGo?
Yeah, so I initially started DuckDuckGo a little over 5 years ago, and just not that I didn't have privacy, wasn't interested in it, but it wasn't really on my mind. I really started it just to build a better search engine with better search results. So that's really what we focus on, and we hope that people come maybe because of privacy, but they're not going to stay if they have any sacrifice or they don't like our search experience. But we make the argument that you should try it out for a week and you really like what you see. And so some of those things we focused on originally are still focused on today. And what I noticed back in 2007 where people were going directly to sites like Wikipedia, IMDb, Yelp directly because they just want answers, right? And it's even more so on mobile today. And so my thought was, if you could somehow get all those answers, bring them back to the search engine, put them above the links, you'd have a more compelling search experience. And most people know, they want to look something up, they go to Wikipedia. But if you say want to do good app search or recipe search or something even more esoteric like Lego parts or something like that, you don't necessarily know the best source. And so what we've done is we've tried to identify that source when you type in a query and bring it back to you so you don't actually have to know what that is, and that's our job, is to glue all those hundreds of sources together into answers. So I'd say the first major thing is answers. Other than that, less spam, less clutter, less ads. You'll notice immediately it's just a cleaner experience that we think a lot of people would like.
Yeah, it's absolutely much cleaner.
Very cool. I'm one of those people that don't necessarily care about my privacy online. And what would you say to people like me in the short term or long term?
So, I'd say a couple of things with that. I think in general that, there's room for a lot of different services and engines of different user experiences. And so privacy doesn't have to be the reason you use DuckDuckGo. But with privacy in general, as you kind of alluded to, a lot's changed in the last few years. And there's good reason for that, because the tracking in the internet has kind of fundamentally changed, grown by like an order of magnitude, and just people don't necessarily realize it yet, or we're starting to realize it now in this news cycle. And there's many reasons that you wouldn't want to be tracked as much besides this government request issue, which is serious, but there's a bunch of others. So you probably noticed ads starting to follow you around the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Now, maybe you don't care about that, but most people do start to find that annoying and kind of creepy in a lot of respects. You search for one thing, you go to kind of one website, and then all of a sudden for months it's following you around. That's kind of the tip of the iceberg. Go ahead. Yeah. What have you noticed following you around?
Yeah, usually Justin likes to send me strange products, and then I'll pull them up on Amazon. Then all of a sudden they're in my result. They're coming up on every website I go to.
It's fun.
Everyone has like a different example because everyone's starting to use it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so there's other things in between that, like that one has really resonated with people. I think mainstream, everyone has noticed it. But other things people haven't noticed yet that they'll start to notice is you could sit right next to someone right now and go to a retailer website and get a different price based on your data profile.
Yep.
Really.
And that really annoys people when they figure it out, when they start to realize what's going on. And the vast majority of people don't realize that yet. But those are two kind of visible examples, and then it gets creepier after that. Like your online stuff starting to show up offline. The Wall Street Journal has done a great series of reports on kind of experiments they've uncovered, like insurers testing your data profile for risk calculations. And kind of the bottom line that I would say is, the data exists, if it can be used for increased profits anywhere, you got to expect that eventually it's going to be, unless it's regulated. And so you might as well try to minimize your data footprint, especially if it is little or no sacrifice.
Right. And that's what DuckDuckGo is doing right now. I've started using it about a week ago, and what I did is I made it my homepage and I made it my default search engine. So it's kind of forcing me out of the routine of going to Google. So it just comes up and I use it immediately, because I use search engines for my job all the time. But what I'm wondering too, are you planning on integrating more tools into DuckDuckGo, like DuckChat or DuckMail or DuckDocs or anything like that?
So probably not DuckMail, DuckDoc. More potentially. So we do have a XMPP server, which is a way, kind of the underlying technology of modern chat now. It's not integrated into the website yet, but you can actually get an XMPP account with us and stuff. And all that is also anonymous.
Oh, good.
So that potentially. We're really focused on these things that are in search, that are, search related, but not necessarily web search answers. So we're working on better images, news, local maps, that kind of stuff, video. Those are more like in line with our mission than mail, although I recognize that there was probably a private mail provider that was just as good as some of the others nowadays. It would have skyrocketed as well in the last 2 months.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
I myself switched to Fastmail. I don't know if you ever tried that out.
Fastmail? I've never even heard of that.
It was an independent company. Opera bought it a couple of years ago, and it's a pretty good alternative. It's not, privacy is not kind of like their main focus, like DuckDuckGo, but it's, it's more a focus than some of these other companies.
Oh, okay. Now, you talked about this before. I love the instant answers from DuckDuckGo. For me, can you explain to everyone why the instant answers is so important and how it's different than other search engines?
Yeah, so this was the really original goal, and the thought was, a good example is like sports, potentially. I have my brother-in-law is into baseball, and this is kind of where we're going, is that, like, we're not the experts on these things. Right? I didn't know before talking to him that everyone goes to Baseball Reference. I'm not a baseball fan, right?
Right.
To get stats. And so what we did is we open sourced this whole platform a year and a half ago. What that means is we made the code available to everyone, and we're asking our users, we've gotten a lot more users, to kind of tell us where are the best answers for each of these categories, and what are the best, what information should we display when you search this or that? And that's really something no other search engine is doing. They're not really going after what they call those long tail searches.
Right.
Everyone's doing celebrities and weather, and we do that too. But we really think the opportunity is for most searches you can get an interesting answer. And so we're trying to develop this platform where our technology is figuring out what query goes with what source, but our users and developer community is identifying the sources and programming what the answer should look like because they know best.
Yeah, that's genius.
And so it's at its infancy. I have grand visions of that. We have a couple hundred probably sources and plugins now, and it's starting to be kind of awesome. But I think in the next couple of years, it's really going to explode. Yeah,
I hope so. I've used it already for. I'm a computer tech, and a lot of networking things at work, and I just need an answer. I spend a lot of time on Google going through, countless pages of information, and sometimes I just want to type in a question and just get an answer, and I've gotten that with DuckDuckGo so far. So I love it.
What's really nice is that like I'm sure you use for that like Stack Overflow a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Super User, which is another Stack Exchange thing. What we've done, like for that, is we've ingested. They give a dump of all their data in a Creative Commons license, and we've slurped it in and made it in our own index. So oftentimes, if it hits an answer, you can get the answer straight at the top of the result, and that's exactly the kind of integration we'd like to do.
That's great.
Very cool. Since this kind of privacy issue has kind of come up in the mainstream media lately. What kind of increase in search traffic have you seen?
A lot. I mean, so we kind of already knew people didn't want to be tracked, and because you could see it in surveys, you could see it over time in our own growth. But part of the problem is getting the word out about private alternatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this news story really gave the opportunity for our existing user base to really have a context to spread it more widely to their friends, family, and colleagues, and say, hey, look, I've been using this thing. I get great results. Using it for so many months or years. You should really check it out because it also gives you privacy in the wake of this news cycle. And we also got a lot of press, too, in that same vein, but word of mouth, I think, was a big component. So we've been up almost double
wow.
since that news story broke. And, it's been, I don't think it's going away. Like, I think these issues, like I was saying before, are really real, and that the tracking technology in the internet has pretty much been unfettered by regulation because no one had really looked into it or uncovered it in the mainstream media.
Right.
But in other areas, in medical, military technology, you name it, we've kind of made choices where we want limits on this stuff. And so I think that's going to happen eventually with tracking. My guess would be now is the time that gets started, but you never know.
Right. Absolutely.
So, contrary to belief, Google does not need to track users to make money, correct? So, are you able to make money because you don't track users?
That's kind of usually the first question anyone asks us.
Yeah.
Because
everyone thinks that Google uses that information. That's how they're so rich. It's just because they track people, but it's not true.
Right. I mean, so they started, and they still do, make most of their money on their web search engine, which is what, the way we operate, by just having advertisers bid for keywords, So you type in car and you get a car ad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happens on our site. And you can do that all without tracking because it's based on the keyword right when you type it in. You don't need their search history for that. But what happened with Google is, they built that advertising product, and it basically works the same way. But over time, they acquired many other advertising products and other products that are harder to monetize. And so they do make a lot of money now tracking you across the internet, but they don't need to do that for the web search part.
Right.
Gotcha. Are there any kind of limitations to what you're doing because you chose not to track the users?
Not much yet. I mean, I'd say, you asked about email before.
Mm-hmm.
If we were going to get into email and we wanted to try to make money off it, we'd be limited probably by asking people to pay for it instead.
Right.
And so that's kind of a limitation. But in web search, which we're really focused on, it hasn't really been that much limitation, which is interesting. And I think there are other areas like that, where you don't need tracking to be so involved in the business model. It has just been the presumption of companies, mainly because no one's pushed back on, but to say, hey, let's just track as much information as possible on people and hope that we can use it later for something.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what the government's done too.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of our approach has been, why we kind of reject that premise and say you should do minimum necessary collection instead of maximum possible collection. And in our case, we really didn't need to track you at all, so we just started from there.
Right, and I mean, a lot of people, I've heard, arguments, and I've debated with people about privacy, and they say that they like, being tracked gives them more options for things in Google, and they have, the Google Plus and all that, and I don't know what to tell them. I just say, hey, look, if you're focused on just searching, and you go to DuckDuckGo.com, all you have to worry about is just searching. You don't have to worry about Google Plus's ads popping up on the right telling you your account is doing this, and then you don't have it linked to something else. And we're just focusing on searching, just private searching, not being bothered, just getting what you need and going on with your life.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting question that people bring up. And I often give a thought experiment like, well, if you think about the service you're getting on any service, do they need to track you that much to deliver what they're giving you?
Right.
And usually the answer is no.
Yeah.
And in general, my thought is, whatever it is, whatever companies do need or whatever they are doing to track you, it should be opt-in, right? The default should be to not track you. And if you want to be tracked, then you should opt in a very clear, quid pro quo way. I'm giving up this privacy for this benefit,
right,
as opposed to just, okay, by default, we're tracking everything we can at all times, and you don't really have an easy way to opt out.
Yeah, exactly. Give us a choice. That's what we want.
Right, and to your point, many people may take the choice to be tracked, and that I think I'm totally fine with.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have the choice.
At least they know. Yeah,
agreed.
So, what type of failures have you had in your career? Like Edison said, I have not failed. I found 10,000 ways that it did not work. I mean, what ways have you failed and then succeeded with this or any other project?
That's a good quote. In that context, certainly have learned from failing, but I've actually failed a lot. I mean, depending on how you count it, mm-hmm. I've probably done many other startups. You can call it probably even 10 that have failed in one way or another, and some that I spent a lot of time on pretty hard.
Right.
And I definitely learned from every one of them. I mean, I look back so one thing is I treat startup as a career kind of out of college, and from that, if you have that mindset, you can take the opportunity to fail a bit, mm-hmm. and recognize that it's going to happen.
Right.
It's kind of like baseball again. Batting averages are not that great in startups, and my one piece of advice for people is, if they want to get into it, is to not consider one time at bat their career, because that is likely to fail.
Yeah. That's so true.
It's like a one and done mentality, and
mm-hmm.
you're likely to not get the financial success you want, and also just feel like a failure.
Yeah, the gratification.
Because your first thing you do is likely to fail, and mine failed miserably, right? And I made so many bad decisions. And where I was going with that is mid-career, probably into, even after I had a successful exit, some of the stuff I started right after that, when I was starting DuckDuckGo, when I look back at it, and it was there were a lot of dumb mistakes in there as well, so
yeah,
definitely constantly learning from those failures.
Well,
then with that, what moment did you know DuckDuckGo was a legitimate search engine? How did you come to that conclusion?
I came to that conclusion, so I launched it at the end of 2008 after working on it for about a year with really no expectation. If people weren't at all receptive to it, I probably would have stopped working on it.
Yeah.
And so I was encouraged from the beginning that there was kind of this interest in another search engine out there, the answers and the less spam. And so that kind of kept me motivated, but it wasn't at a point where anyone would really use it as their primary engine. First they were really early adopters, and I'm very thankful for them. But mid 2010, it was getting to a point where I could see, we'd get some press every now and then, and we would kind of stick. People would stick on the site, so you could see our query volume would kind of jump and stay up, as opposed to jump and fall back down.
Right.
And so at that point, I thought there was something real there, because I felt that not just super early adopters, but kind of real, the next stage of adoption, people were sticking on the site, at least for some period of time.
Yeah, it was steady.
So then I got really excited about it.
Heck yeah. That's good. People are so focused on DuckDuckGo and privacy. I've watched a lot of interviews with you lately, and it seems like they've forgotten that you're kind of a genius. I mean, you studied at MIT, and you've actually contributed elsewhere, and I wanted to talk about your career a little bit, too. For instance, when United Online purchased OpalBox for uselessclassmates.com, and that was, for $10 million. For those that don't know, what is the OpalBox?
So thanks for the kind words.
Yeah.
Out of school, I started this educational software company called Learnaction. That was my first thing, and that was the one I was referring to earlier that ultimately kind of went nowhere. And then after that, I kind of regrouped, tried a bunch of projects, and one of them ended up being this OpalBox project. And the reason why it was originally called that is because it was a mailing list kind of service, like a MailChimp kind of thing, or Constant Contact.
Mm-hmm.
That my partner and I, he actually had kind of started it, and I kind of came on to help. And in retrospect, that ended up being a great business. Those two companies are quite large, but we didn't really put enough effort into it. Or stay the course. That was kind of one lesson I learned from that period. But luckily, I had started this other project that was more like a clone of Classmates.com, but more international. And that's kind of took off right from the beginning, so we ended up focusing on that, and just, it was under the same umbrella of this company. But that's why the name is so weird. It doesn't have any relation to that. Anyway, so yeah, it was essentially like find your old friends and classmates, which makes zero sense now in the world of Facebook.
Right.
Which is one reason why we decided to exit when we could in 2006. We really had a choice whether we were going to kind of try to make it into something completely different, like some kind of social networking thing or a dating site or something internationally, or just try to move on. And we decided to move on instead.
Well, that's good. Sometimes you just have to do that. You have to know where your limit is and move on to something different.
Yeah, it's another lesson in kind of entrepreneurship. I don't begrudge anyone for doing this because I did it too. Is sometimes it makes sense to take the early exit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it enabled me to do something like DuckDuckGo, which I probably wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. I self-funded it for several years, and just it was a much bigger vision, as opposed to I wasn't just trying to carve out a niche in the market. I was really trying to go after this vision. And some people can do that without any money in the bank.
Yeah.
And I envy them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that wasn't me. I needed that kind of cushion.
Well, speaking of money in the bank, we talked about angel investing a little bit on this show before. Can you explain a little bit of what that is and how long you've been an angel investor?
Sure. So angel investing is kind of what we're just talking about, is when companies are getting started, not everyone has money in the bank and they need to pay some bills. And how do you do that when you just have an idea? And so angel investors often fill that hole, people who are willing to invest some money in you to kind of develop your idea before traditional venture capitalists kind of would come in and give you a lot of money. And so I started doing that in 2009. So I've been doing it for a few years now. Invested in maybe 12 companies, I think.
Oh, wow.
Not tons of money, but, I've been trying to be actively involved and kind of learn from every investment. And it's been good. It's been great. I really have. That's come true. I've learned a ton.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you're around constantly around new startups and new things. You probably learn all kinds of stuff there. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And getting involved in companies that are unlike my own, right? I've been involved in some enterprise stuff, which, all my stuff has been consumer mainly. Just different people, different personalities, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, part of your great advice on startups mentions that you devote half your time on traction and to approach traction as a framework. And what do you mean by that?
So a lot of times people have great ideas for products, and that's how they get started in an idea in their company, right? Like, I think this is a great idea, I'm going to go for it, but they don't, and they build that, and then they go out and at the end try to get customers, and they're like, okay, where are all the customers? They're not beating the path to my door. And unfortunately, a lot of companies die at that point because they don't get enough money or revenue quick enough, or they don't show enough customer growth to go out and raise money. And that's unfortunate. And so by traction, I just mean, real customers using your product. And I think you should start that on day one for that reason. I think it greatly minimizes your, or at least reduces your chances of failure.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Now, I was also reading that you're the co-author of Traction, the book. I'm assuming that'd be a great book to pick up for understanding traction. Can you tell us a little bit about that book?
Yeah, it is. It is almost out. I've been struggling to get it out because I had zero time.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for a long time, but it really is almost out. It is all about this concept of, okay, you believe this theory, you should focus on it, but what does that mean? You know, how do you focus on traction?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like methodologies for how you focus on product, you know, like the lean startup. But there's not a lot or any ones that we really saw on how do you think about traction. So what I did was I went out and, you know, interviewed, researched, all that kind of stuff, all sorts of successful founders that I knew and invested in and that kind of stuff, and discovered something pretty interesting, that all these startups, if you dig down into that point where they started to get successful, they usually did it in about 20 different ways, and then they're repeatable ways. And a lot of these are, some of them are known to people, like, you know, they may have done search engine marketing, you know, paid for ads on Google or DuckDuckGo or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may have done, you know, a partnership. That's another big category. But then there are other categories that kept coming up that, you know, people don't necessarily focus on right away, like trade shows or even things like offline ads. Like we ran a billboard at DuckDuckGo that had a big thing on our growth. And so my point is, a basic point is that, you know, if you start a startup, how do you, if you go in with your existing biases, just what you know, you may spend your 2 years that you have, the money that you have, on the wrong traction channel.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what we're calling it. And so how do you kind of frame that? And so to start with, we want to educate you on all the different channels that people use, and then offer a framework for how to think about which one you should try right now. And that's really the crux of the book.
Oh, wow, that's pretty great. And I was reading, too, I mean, the book has amazing interviews in it from Jimmy Wales and co-founders and CEOs of companies like Wikipedia and Reddit, Ubounce and HubSpot. I mean, how's that been interviewing those people? And it's got to be, it's probably pretty inspiring, too, to talk with these people.
It has been. I mean, they're running great companies, you know, well, in many cases, you know, way bigger than anything I've touched. And so the other thing, what's really interesting about traction is that, and founders like that is, you know, you go out and you say, okay, I want to focus maybe on sales, right, or billboards or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go out and look for, you know, okay, I want to hire a sales expert then, or a billboard expert. And the first thing that comes to your mind is like, oh, I'm going to find a consultant, right? But what we found is, in reality, the real experts on these channels are successful founders who've used that, because they actually went and hired all the consultants and figured out all the secrets that no one knew, or put together, you know, everyone's knowledge. And so that was the interesting thing. Is like some of those people have such detailed insight and knowledge on these things. Like HubSpot in particular, it's a good example about this whole, you know, they run an inbound marketing company, and so they have tons of knowledge on, you know, how do you put up interesting content and get users for it and things like that. So I've totally enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's going to be a great book. And for those interested in it, you can get that at tractionbook.com. You can go there and read about it now. Yeah, I'm waiting for that book to be out. That'll be fantastic for people in startups or anybody that wants to learn. I like people to know that, you know, you've done more than just DuckDuckGo. You know, there's a lot of things that you contribute to, because that's all I've heard of lately, you know, is just one thing. And it's like, he's done way more than just that. So, yeah, that's really great.
Well, I know you're running low on time, so what's next for DuckDuckGo and what's next for you personally?
Me is, you know, DuckDuckGo. I'm definitely focused on making, you know, that dent in the search engine market. Like, I think what we're offering now, you know, really could appeal to a much larger percentage of people that are using the site. Although we've grown a lot, I think we could grow a lot more.
Right.
So I'm pretty focused on that. For DuckDuckGo in particular, you know, we just launched apps on iOS and Android, so we're working to iterate on those. Really proud of those. And then also some of these things we were talking about earlier, these kind of instant answers that we run, images, maps, local video. We're working on making those better and working on that long-term platform, where everyone can come in and contribute ideas for sources and instant answers and anything. We have actually a whole site, ideas.duckduckhack.com, where anyone can go on and suggest, what kind of answers they want. So that's really where the focus is.
Oh, wow. I wanted to say one more thing about DuckDuckGo that we haven't mentioned yet, and the fact that you can search from DuckDuckGo with a few shortcuts, exclamation point A or things like that. And you can search instantly on Wikipedia or IMDb or things like that. So it's like an all-in-one spot. If you get to know those, it's really awesome.
It really changes people's use of the internet when they get into it. I would love to find a way to explain it succinctly.
Right.
Because it really is a feature. If people really get into it, people love it. And basically what it is like you said, you just type in exclamation point, name of a site, like Amazon, A for short, and then your search, and say it's like Green Day or something. You'll bypass the search engine completely, go directly to Amazon search results. So if you already know you want to go right to, Yelp or Wikipedia search results, you can skip us entirely. And we enable you to do that. If you have it built into the browser, then it kind of gets more powerful, because you can just type it right in your search bar or Omnibar. You don't have to go to us at all. And we call those bang commands, because the exclamation point is referred to as a bang on Linux. Which is kind of esoteric, but I still like the name.
Yeah.
But anyway, I encourage anyone to try those out.
I agree. I think people should always try something new. I mean, everybody thinks that the Google's just the norm, and that's what you should continue to use. I mean, challenge it. Try something else. I guarantee you'll like DuckDuckGo. I personally, it sounds strange, but I like to manipulate things and change the way they look and the feel of it. So being able to change my DuckDuckGo experience, just the way it looks, I've changed the link colors, the background, I've made it kind of my search engine, and that was really cool.
Yeah, people like the customization a lot, and, so do I. I mean,
yeah,
I totally agree.
Now, do you have a few minutes for a couple listener questions?
Sure. I have a few more minutes.
Yeah, I'll have two questions. One that just came up in the chat actually was kind of funny. Is they're asking if you ran any small companies as a kid, like lemonade stands or lawn mowing services.
I did. I ran a computer consulting business.
No way.
As a kid, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
The equivalent of that.
Holy cow.
It was light stuff, my computer's broken, fix it. And then in the mid-'90s, when I was, in middle school and high school, people were just getting onto the internet,
Yeah.
So I would go around and help people do that.
That's hilarious. Lastly, do you have any advice for a person looking to create a startup?
Yeah, I mean, my big advice, as we talked about earlier, particularly one thing, is to really think about it as a career. So it gives you that mindset to build skills, and not worry about as much about the first failure, although it'll be super hard, but you shouldn't just quit. And to do that, that if you think about it that way, it makes sense to do things like, maybe you should go learn to code a little bit,
right?
Or invest time in your local startup scene, meeting people and stuff. Whereas if you're 100% focused on what's in front of you, some of that stuff doesn't make as much sense. And so that's my main piece of advice, is kind of take a long-term view of it.
Yeah, that's a perfect piece of advice. Well, Gabriel, I really appreciate you coming on LiveSpeak and talking with us here on Spreaker.com and IndianaTalks.com. Everybody else that's listening, go to DuckDuckGo.com and try it. Really, it'll change the way you search the internet, and it's private. That's huge. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Gabriel.
Thanks both for having me.
Yeah, have a good one.
Later.
That was Gabriel Weinberg. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. It's always fun talking with people that are borderline geniuses. Not like me and Alan. Alan's clearly a genius. But on that note,
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on if it's afternoon or, yeah. We're going to run to a quick commercial break. Actually, let's do a music break, and we'll come back here on Live Speak Radio.
It's Justin, the Geek. Are you ready to rock? Ladies, make some noise.
Welcome back, everybody, to Live Speak Radio. I hope you enjoyed that interview. I know I did. I got to be honest, Alan and I were talking over the break, and we were not expecting that answer of the lemonade stand and the fact that he ran a computer repair shop when he was young. Okay.
Consulting,
that's right. He was consulting.
That
even funnier.
That's even bigger, yeah.
Wow, he wasn't doing the work. He's telling people about it. That's hilarious. Well, we'll move right into some of our tech news since we've been talking about great technology and stuff. And we'll start with IBM and Intel. They've actually reported large declines in their profit. Customers are shifting from PC-based systems towards mobile computing, which we've talked about a lot. We knew that was going to happen, and mobile computing is just huge now. Everybody has a cell phone or a tablet, so of course I didn't expect them to take such a huge dip like this, but it was a 29% drop in the second quarter, which is pretty big. I mean, that's a third of their money.
Windows 8.
Yeah, Windows 8. Windows Metro. Did we talk about that before? How terrible that was? Yeah. So
we can't do a show without me saying something.
No, we can't. It's going to be a trend. Everybody's going to expect for us to say something about Windows 8 now in every show. That's funny. But, I mean, it said that the revenue was down 5% to $12.8 per, and then down 3% on their, for IBM's actually was down for only 3%, it looks like. But overall, of course, they're going to drop off. That's all it is. I mean, you start moving to tablets and things like that, unless they can get in there and make an IBM tablet, which I haven't heard of yet. You know,
no, I don't know many people buying IBM computers either.
Think about it. Lenovo actually has bought part of IBM, so I've seen Lenovo tablets, and I've actually had to deal with them, but not very often. So,
oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
That's not going to be.
They bought them, or IBM bought Lenovo?
Lenovo bought IBM.
Okay.
I guess they didn't buy all of it because IBM is still, that's IBM, but all the computers and the IBM ThinkPad computers, that's all Lenovo now.
IBM's definitely been on a pretty steady decline in the last probably decade now. I remember they used to have an office here in Fort Wayne that a buddy of mine's dad worked at, and that building's been vacant for at least 10 years.
Wow.
Not that leaving Fort Wayne means your company's. So, actually, most times that means you did something right. But.
Moving up, huh? Well, talking about mobile devices, I see the story here that the iPhone 5 is actually rated the slowest in the smartphone's speed test. It's compared to 7 different phones, of course, and number 1 being the Samsung Galaxy S4.
Samsung's really rocking it.
They are, man. I mean, with the Facebook phone app and everything coming out for Samsung, and I mean, they have all kinds of different things. Of course,
even the laptop I just bought is Samsung, and I've never had a Samsung product that wasn't like a DVD player.
Right. It's weird.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with it. I mean, I ran it. I mean, aside from it having Windows 8 on it, yeah, I ran that last night, which was scary for me again because of Windows 8. But
yeah,
I ran that last night at the Pink Droid show.
Ooh, you used that?
Yeah, it was
risky.
But the laptop, I mean, it's gold, man. I love it. It's slim, it's sleek. They're kind of taking a lot of in the mobile world too. They're taking a lot from Apple as far as making their product look nice. A lot of Android devices are kind of square and just don't have that new look to it. Almost looks like an old '80s car compared to, you know, a more rounded out whatever.
Yeah.
Decade we're in right now.
I don't know what we're in right now.
I don't know. Time just kind of goes.
Well, they're talking this test they're talking about measures, you know, processor and memory performance across all the smartphone platforms, and you know the Samsung is more than double the speed of the iPhone. And you know what's funnier is that the BlackBerry Z10 is actually faster than the iPhone 5.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I just heard on Kim Commando today because I am a dork. She was talking about the BlackBerry Playbook and how a lot of people are going to notice that going on sale, drastic price reduction, and to not be tempted to get it because they will not be. They'll still be supporting it, but there'll be absolutely no more updates to the Playbook. BlackBerry's really struggling.
They really are right now. I mean, and with Samsung,
they need to just adapt Android.
They do.
Then they'd be able to save themselves.
It's not big enough. Their platform just isn't big enough, and it won't be. It's too late, honestly. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. But, of course, Apple's going to upgrade their next iPhone with an improved processor and hopefully catch up to Samsung. But, man, does Samsung have a lead right now in mobile technology.
They do. I was considering getting an iPhone with my next upgrade, which I think is in like 10 years.
Yeah.
But the Samsung's definitely been interesting to me, and I like that they I mean, not all their phones, but some of their phones, like the Note, have the ability to use that nice slim pencil style stylus instead of that rubbery caveman stylus that you have to use on every other phone.
Well, talking about iPhone and things that don't help them very much is they're being investigated after an iPhone 5 user actually died. She was making a phone call with her iPhone plugged into the charger and dropped dead, dropped down to the ground. Now, it's not released yet that the electrocution is what killed the person, but what else could have happened? I mean, you're just fine, then you're talking on the phone and you just drop. That's pretty bad.
We've had people do that with this radio program, haven't we?
I think so, but that's not reported. We haven't. That's not out there yet. But now it is
now.
Yeah. And they say that mobile phones have a real low output of only like 3 to 5 volts, which really isn't enough to harm the human body. But we feel electric shock at around 36 volts. So they would have had this phone. It would have been, and this was over in China actually. So they're running on 220 volts. So in other words, it went through her phone line in the wall and hit her with 220 volts, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I mean, that's it.
No, but she had it up to her ear, right?
Yeah,
so.
Right to the head, and it depends on ohms and things like that. I mean, it's all the resistance, but I don't know how. Maybe I'll have to call Gabriel back and ask him. He probably.
It reminds me of a buddy of mine who he kind of. I'd say he builds things. He builds these experimental things, and when we were younger, he built what he called a time machine, and it was this helmet put together with duct tape, and I think they were nails, but it might have been nails, but it was something metal inside of it, and then you basically just plugged it in, and it shocked you, and you got knocked out, and that was a time machine. For some reason, that reminded me of that.
Right. I remember that. That's hilarious. Yeah, well, I mean, as if iPhone, doesn't really need something hurting them right now. I mean, their slowest phone, now they're killing people. I guess that's one way of losing your business.
It's the ultimate time machine.
Yes, exactly. Stops time completely.
It does.
Now, as for the... did you hear about the Google Nexus video leak and the pictures of the Asus's Next tablet?
I don't like Google anymore.
Well, I don't either.
I'm just kidding.
No, they actually, this Nexus 7, I hope it's better than the one that we have at work that I haven't sent back yet and that my boss is listening and he's probably going to tell me to do it tomorrow. But I hope it works better than that one because ours doesn't work. We got it, I guess, and a week later it wouldn't charge, it wouldn't turn on. But this one's actually an updated version it's the Nexus 7. It looks really sleek, man. It looks really nice.
I don't think I've ever used a Google product that was physical, that was hardware. I like their software products.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's going to be cheap. It's $269 they're saying for a 32 gigabyte. That's really cheap.
And that's a 7-inch, I'm assuming, with the 7 tag on it.
Right.
I've had a 7-inch tablet, and it felt like kind of just a big phone, and I wasn't actually happy with it. I like the 10-inch. I ended up selling it and sticking with the 10-inch.
Yeah, well, you have giant monster hands, though, too.
I do. I have ape hands, and
you're 7 feet tall. That'll happen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the hardware's really not all different this one. It says it comes with 2 cameras, dual speakers, of course, 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is actually quite a bit. And then the all-new version of Android 4.3. So it's just, I mean, kind of an update. It looks almost the same, but it just looks more space age. I don't know. I'll have to put the link in the show notes afterwards.
Well, and so Asus built that, says, which you mentioned, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Asus for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't realize off the bat. For some reason, I looked at their products at like Best Buy and things and saw that they were a lot cheaper than other products. And I just always assumed, cheaper means, cheaper.
Right.
And I've definitely been told wrong, or told that I was wrong about that Asus actually, because they're mainly a motherboard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Company. And so they're building the stuff that's in a lot of our computers anyways, right? So, cool.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, that's really all we have for the tech news this week. There's not a whole lot going on that I could find technology-wise in the small time that I had. But that's our tech news for the bit. We're going to run to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back on Live Speak Radio.
Need a do-it-yourself with your website? Let the gurus at thedigitalcraft.com teach you how to build, design, and maintain your website at an affordable price. They offer private training on web programming, graphic and web design, video production, motion graphics, and expert consulting. Book your session today on Facebook at facebook.com/thedigitcraft and check out free tutorials at youtube.com/thedigitcraft or take our courses on udemy.com. Thedigitalcraft.com, your web and design guru. Attention singers and musicians. Are you on YouTube promoting your music but not getting the results you deserve? Need more views? Need to stand out from the crowd? No matter where you're at, our course, 25 Steps to Rock Your YouTube Views, will show you how to maximize the views on your cover video in 1 week without paying a cent. This book will guide you step by step how to increase your presence on YouTube, plus 25 video tutorials with our ebook and unlimited support to answer all your questions. If you're willing to invest your time in your career, commit to learning by video, this course is for you. And it's all for $27. Plus a 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime access with no limits. Be one of the first 50 people to sign up and get 30% off. Sign up today on udemy.com and get the course 25 Steps to Rock Your YouTube Views. The great way to maximize the views on your cover video for 1 week without paying a cent. Sign up now.
Justin the Geek.
Break it up, break it up, break it up.
On the ones and twos.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Live Speak Radio. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about here. We found this this website, and I'm sure you've seen it before, Alan.
Who found it?
Actually, I think John.
John?
I think John. I think found this.
I want to know how John found this.
I do too, because it's kind of, he says it's a throwback to like a Simpsons episode where Homer made his own website with GIF images or GIF images, whatever you want to call it. I opened this website up, and I'm not going to open it right now because I did earlier, and it's just crazy. If you have epilepsy, seriously, I would not open this.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because it's nonstop just flashing images.
Well, then when you open it, you're going to be distracted enough that you're going to miss, I think, what's going on here. If you scroll back down and then get down to the fiery pits of hell, and then let it start scrolling again, then you kind of get the gist of what's going on. It's pretty intense.
It really
starts
is.
in hell, then it goes to like the surface of the earth with people doing things with technology. Then there's birds flying everywhere, and I mean, all this is. It looks like animated GIFs. Maybe the background might be a JPEG.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched it through the whole way because
you gotta.
Last time I opened it, and I was actually doing our sound check earlier, and my QuickTime player shut down and Flash player shut down, and it was just freaking out on my computer.
I think maybe we shouldn't send people this.
We're going to lose half our listeners if we do.
It kind of reminds me of people that abuse their MySpace pages.
Yes, 100%. You're right. Spot on there.
I think I might use this for a Pink Droid concert.
You should.
Just throw this up when they're on break.
Just let people stare at it and wonder what is going on here.
I mean, what I like about it, though, is that it wasn't just somebody, I mean, it kind of is somebody just plopping a bunch of animated GIFs everywhere, but there was some thought put into this, man. It's definitely very religious, but...
yeah, I guess I didn't realize
I think I just saw angels with lightsabers.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
This is intense.
I think I just lost Alan. Now Alan's going to be staring at that going, what in the world?
If you hear a thump, that's me falling to the floor and seizuring.
Seizuring?
Or it means I was using my iPhone 5.
Yeah, there you go. Plugged it in, had a phone call.
Yeah.
Now, this is the kind of stuff that John finds. This is why I like John, because I never would have seen this before. Ever. Why would I need to see this? Why would anybody? I don't know, but it's really interesting to have a bunch of things flashing at you really fast, nonstop. So I sent the link, and I hope everybody enjoys it, because now people hate me. Yeah, you can blame John Rainey for that one. That's John, John. Oh, wow.
We've been picking on John a lot lately.
We have, but John's a good sport. He's co-hosted last week? Yeah, last weekend with you.
Yeah, it was last week. He did a very good job.
You both did a really fantastic show last week. It was really cool. Tabby Callahan was on last week. That was finally got to listen to it. But
Slagger.
yeah, that's what I do. It looks like we're about done with IndianaTalks.com right now. So I want to say thanks to IndianaTalks.com again for letting us come onto their network there and sharing our show. But we will continue on Spreaker.com, of course, after this, as usual. So if you stick with us, we'll actually go to a quick commercial break and come back here on Spreaker.com. Stick with us on Live Speak Radio.
Do you like the sound of my commercials? Do you want a commercial? Do you want to play it on your show? Then head over to Mike Wagner at Fiverr.com. Get yours produced now. www.fiverr.com/MWagner. Get fast, friendly, professional commercials at an affordable price. You provide the script, or we will write one for you. Tell us what special effects you need, or we can add them out for you. Check out our features to make your commercials sound great. Go to www.fiverr.com/MWagner and get your commercial done today. www.fiverr.com/MWagner. Also affiliated with www.MikeWagnerVoiceover.com. You're listening to Live Speak with Justin the Geek every Sunday at 2 p.m. He's bringing you amazing courses from great instructors on Udemy.com. Lots of tech talk, phone calls, and much more. Live every Sunday of every week. This is Live Speak. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to Live Speak. As I lost Alan on the break, he's stuck on that website now.
I'm trying to.
He was trying to figure out if it was like Baby Jesus or something.
Yeah, I mean, at the top it says "I love you," and there's the gates of heaven, and then past that is a baby playing guitar, and I'm trying to figure out if that's God or Jesus or who knows, man. This is starting to give me a headache.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Wow,
it's bad on the eyes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, if I can talk freely, Justin.
Of course.
When I was at the show last night, we had a different laser production company out, and a very great company out of Philadelphia, and they had these really, really expensive and high-tech lasers, and I wanted to warn people, if you're at a laser light show, do not stick your hand up to try to touch the lasers. It's not good for you. We had people trying to reach up and get their hands in the lasers, and I don't know why that reminded me. This website reminded me of that, but
seriously, these people are trying to put their hands in the lasers, huh?
Well, to them it's just a light beam, and
right.
Earlier in the day, the tech that was out there was trying to give us a demonstration on how intense these lasers are, and he actually lit a cigarette with it.
Yeah, right. And they use those indoors?
Well, luckily this was outdoors.
Oh, okay.
But this is in a not really an amphitheater, but giant tent covering type deal. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we were actually we were trying to look back and see if the trees on the other side of the venue were being set on fire or not. But yeah, I don't know why this website reminded me of that. But don't touch lasers.
Yeah, that's bad.
Lasers bad.
Lasers.
I think there's some lasers in here. Justin, move on so I don't.
Yeah, Alan's gonna die here in about 10 minutes, so I'll try and get through.
I'm shutting the site. All right.
We'll move on to some WCF news as usual. First story, Alan, you want to talk about this one? I didn't get a chance, but the headline is great on this one.
Yeah. Man attacks or gets his revenge on slot machines.
It's always good to hear.
Yeah, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Nuri.
Yeah,
Nur. We're gonna go with Nur.
Nur. N-U-R-E. Nur.
Nur. And his last name Brigu. Nur Brigu, which I'm totally screwing that one up. I might just call him John Smith.
Yeah, let's just go.
Anyways, he's 47 years old, father of two. He's a regular at some of this stuff I really can't pronounce. Bar Madonnina, which is in Fontana Via near Padua.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, really. But anyways, he comes in and he smashes 7 slot machines with an axe. Previous to the attack, witnesses saw him feeding coins in while complaining and muttering that he lost 5,000 euros in 2 weeks, which I think that equivalent that's like $2 American, right?
Yeah,
where we're at currently.
Anyway,
apparently he then calmly walked out of the bar and waited for the police to arrive and arrest him, he was okay with it. And I think I at first I didn't get that, and then I think when I finished this, I think I kind of figured it out. But the owner of the bar says he's normally a quiet man he's had a few wins, but he spends a lot of money. Owner says no one was hurt, but he says he'll be losing a lot of money from the customers who would normally play the machines and spend money on drinks. Now, here's where I figured out why he didn't care that he was getting arrested. Nuri John was released immediately from prison because terms under 2 years are not enforced in Italy.
What?
That can't be the whole truth.
No,
and if it is,
what happened there?
I'm going to Italy and I'm raising a little bit of havoc.
Wow.
Just a little bit of havoc. Just enough havoc to get me,
I know Italians are lovers, but come on.
Yeah, that's, well, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, with axes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in Britain, campaigners have called for a 2-pound spending limit on slot machines. And to try and keep people from doing things of this nature, or
losing their house
money
and everything.
Yeah, but apparently the government said
that won't happen because the government's getting money from it.
Oh, of course. But yeah, slot machines, axes. But I mean, more interesting to me is the 2-year.
Yeah, of all that, you come into a building with an axe and destroy merchandise, and it's because you had the judge said it's 1 year and what's it 2 years and 1 month, he would have been.
Yeah, I mean here in America, you can start thinking about all the things you could do that would be under a 2-year sentence, like all the misdemeanors you could pull off.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I mean, if you're willing to be arrested and taken and then let go, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can get away with. That's pretty cool.
It probably adds up or something weird. So it's like you get 6 months one time, 5 another, and then another 2 months, and you're finally over 2 years.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to get Francesco on here and.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him what it's like over there.
Chime in on that.
Yeah. Well, on to the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is in Berlin.
He's in Berlin now, but yeah, he goes back to Italy quite a bit. That's where he's from. But kind of going on the same side of Italians and Rome and things like that. I saw this. John put the story on here. I'm going to blame him again for this one, but it's a good one where the Vatican's actually offering time off of purgatory to followers of Pope Francis's tweets. It's their latest attempt to keep up with the times. Of course, the Vatican's married one of its oldest traditions to the world of social media by offering indulgences to followers of Pope Francis's tweets. Now, praying while following events like in Rio online would need to be carried out with requisite devotion, is what they suggest, in order to get these indulgences. Also, the Vatican's launched an online news portal supported by an app, a Facebook page, and it plans to use the online social networking site Pinterest as well. And it said that what really counts is that the tweets the Pope sends from Brazil or the photos of the Catholic World Youth Day that go up on Pinterest produce authentic spiritual fruit in the hearts of everyone. So now, social media will be taken over by the Vatican.
Jeez.
They have 7 million followers on Twitter. Pope Francis does.
You can't top that.
And so, I mean, back in the day, you were to get these indulgences, you were originally supposed to do things like climb a mountain, and carry somebody on your back for 7 days or something. And now it's like, just follow a tweet.
Are we gonna add this to the Bible? I mean,
who makes this rule? There's actually a court of people that decide on the forgiveness of sins. So there's actually a group of people that decide what sins will be forgiven and what won't be, and they have decided that the indulgences are given for people that follow tweets with requisite devotion.
I wonder if they're planning on putting out a new version of the Bible with what's it called? I should know this term, but with you just did it on the comments. The acronyms we use to speak in chats and things like that. What is it called? Justin,
I don't know, emoticons.
No, it's not. No, it's not emoticons. Like LOL and all that. We should get a version of the Bible rewritten in that.
Oh man,
so that everybody can understand it again. I was at a funeral service not too long ago where they read passages out of the King James Bible, and I don't know if you've ever tried to read a King James Bible.
I have, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
So I think we need to update it with, LOLs and
ROFL, LMAO, IMHO. That'd be real fun.
It would. Get on that, Justin.
Okay, I'm going to start right now. You do the
Justin,
rest of the show?
The resident author, book expert.
Yes, I am.
Totally making this up, but
no, he's not.
He is now. Here's a story that I didn't read.
Okay. I read this one. This was a good one.
Yeah, Peeping Tom was fished out of a septic tank.
Yeah, that's gross.
A man has been arrested on Peeping Tom charges after being discovered inside of a septic tank under a woman's toilet. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, she called the Tulsa police after spotting him covered in feces, of course, peering out into the septic tank underneath the toilet that she went to go use.
I was supposed to read that, Justin. You just wanted to say feces, didn't you?
I did. I wanted to say covered in feces.
And peering.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, Kenneth Enslow was arrested on Sunday. He was helped from the septic tank by members of the Keystone Fire Department, sprayed clean with a fire hose, which you'd probably need to get that off. Enslow claimed that his girlfriend, Angel, had hit him in the head with a tire iron and dumped him in the toilet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's due in court on July 15th, which already happened.
Yeah.
And faces 1 year jail term and a $5,000 fine if found guilty. Now, if he would have been playing around in Turd in Italy,
he
would have been all right. He would have gotten a fine, but
sent home, feces and all.
Yeah, so feces good in Italy.
Yeah, they actually, this guy, when asked, he said, he was knocked unconscious and put in this thing, and they asked him, well, why didn't you call for help? And he said, well, I didn't call for help until the police got here because I was unconscious the whole time. Well, that doesn't fly because the lady looked down at the guy staring right back up at her. So, and she had her little kids with her too. She had a little girl and then her infant son in this porta potty bathroom, whatever it was, and she freaked out and ran out of there. It says she knocked her son over, or young 2 or 3 year old just knocked him over on the ground, had to pick him up because she was running so afraid.
She's just hitting everybody. She hit him with the tire iron too.
No. But that's like everyone's worst fear, somebody hiding down inside there. Or, even I think about that because I've seen too many horror movies.
I've never once thought that there might be someone in my toilet.
I've heard way too many of these stories. And no, I don't think anyone's in my toilet. I think when I'm out camping and I go to an outhouse or something, that's what I think. It's creepy.
Yeah, maybe a hole in the wall, but
yeah, not in my own house.
You gotta be really determined to wow.
Yeah,
I can't even finish that. It's starting to make me think of our bad Kickstarter for the day.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's awesome.
Doesn't beat the stealth bar, but it comes close.
It comes close. This this is great. There's 8 things that Back to the Future Part 2 predicted correctly, and I wanted to read off of these for our WTF because they were pretty spot on, man, for some of the things. They actually, the trilogy, of course, they talk about Marty traveling to the year 2015. And in the movie, the filmmakers made all these bold futuristic predictions. And so I think with over 2 years before October 2015, we can actually see what they've gotten right. And the list is pretty great. They actually show in the movie that it's death to laser discs and compact discs. So there's no longer CDs or laser discs in the future.
Hologram discs.
Yeah.
That's what we use now.
Exactly. Motion control replaces physical game controllers, like the Wii and the Kinect, of course. Portable tablet computers, they saw that one coming. They're everywhere. Keyless entry, of course, that's happened. What else have we got here?
Personal video glasses.
Oh, yeah. Like the Google Glass, which not really out yet, but it will be. And there's 3 more of them, right? Computers, of course. In the movie, they show computers everywhere in the movie. In the kitchen and in the bathroom, and quite honestly, that's true.
And the large flat panel displays.
Yeah, that's spot on too. And video conferencing replaces telephones. That's becoming more and more true.
That's true too. Now, the one thing that they actually, it was almost promised that would come out soon. You know where I'm going, aren't you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. 'Cause I still dream about it.
Yeah. I swear it was like there were companies were working on it, and then we were hoping it was going to be out soon. I mean, not just 15 years later, but was the hoverboard.
I don't know if that was a rumor or I thought I was the only one that knew or had heard that, but everyone I know has heard that.
Even travels over to Indiana, my pal.
Yeah, I mean, so I thought I was making it up when I was a kid or something, because I really wanted one, but it turns out that there were claims that people were going to try and make them.
I could see some danger in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? Eventually we'll be there, I think.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch that movie again and see what else I can find.
I do, too. I want to watch the trilogy, except the third one, because I don't like the Wild Wild West one. That was kind of terrible. But the technology in it's pretty cool.
We did, for those who don't know, our dog, our oldest female dachshund's name is Marty McFly.
Yes. It's awesome.
We thought it was a boy.
Oh.
But it's legal name is Marty McFly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What else we got for WTF news?
A machine that turns sweat into drinking water. At first I thought this was a Kickstarter.
Yuck. Yeah, it might as well be, right?
There's a machine that takes sweat-laden clothes and turns the moisture into drinking water that is in use in Sweden.
Yuck.
Yeah, that's the noise for that. It spins and heats as if it needs more. The material to remove the sweat passes the vapor through a special membrane. All these words don't go well with drinking water. Designed only to let the water molecules get through. Since its launch, more than 1,000 people have drank sweat water in Gothenburg. That sounds like a
Sweden
mythical place.
That's disgusting.
And they claim the liquid is cleaner than local tap water. Well, I could believe that, I guess.
How dirty is their tap water?
If you've ever lived in a place like Orlando, where...
No, I have.
Yeah, it's like... That's where I first learned about the lemon given to you with a glass of water. Yep. We don't do that. We do that here now, but most of my time here in Indiana, we never... It was never like a... It was... Like in Orlando, it's like something you have to ask to not have, but they just assume you want the lemon with the tap water, because tap water just smells and tastes like our previous story.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
It was done to highlight the fact that 780 million people in the world lack access to clean water. I'm assuming that's not us.
No. That's disgusting. I mean, I've seen a lot of water purification and things like that, and I've watched a lot of the survival shows where they make their own water purification systems through rocks and things like that. But just hot sweat water? Come on. And how much sweat? I mean, really, how much sweat can be produced to drink? I mean, I sweat a lot more than human possible.
It didn't even register to me while I was reading it that we're getting this from our clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So after that show last night, I mean, I couldn't imagine taking all that I have acquired and just going home and go, awesome.
Yes.
Now I can drink for a day.
I got drink. It's foul.
Ew.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think I could even fathom drinking that. I don't even care. But good news is that PayPal actually credited a U.S. man $92 quadrillion in error. $92 quadrillion. I didn't even know that was a real name, quadrillion. I thought I made that up when I was 5, and it wasn't real. But apparently it is.
It's right below Google, I think.
Yeah. You got a 92 Google dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy, Chris Reynolds, he's 56 and he lives in Pennsylvania. Yeah, PayPal admittedly credited him erroneously, of course, with the $92 quadrillion. That's 60 quadrillion pounds for those in the UK. His previous balance was $100. This is the funny part, is because he went and he didn't really fight for it. He didn't want it back, but obviously he knew something was wrong. If he was going to look for $100 and ended up having, $92 quadrillion, it probably looked funny to him too, just having, all these numbers scratched across the screen.
Yeah, that's a lot of zeros.
Yeah. And the number, if you look at it, it's like 92 quadrillion, 283 trillion, 585 billion. It's like not even straight 92 quadrillion. It's really strange. And I don't know how that happened, but PayPal, of course, took the money back. But they offered to give money to Mr. Reynolds' charity of choice. So why not just give him some money?
Right. It's interesting the way you put that. PayPal took the money back. The money didn't exist.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But naturally, it's just...
But yeah, it's their mistake, and they're like, well, we just erased it. I would have been kind of mad. I'd have been like, well, I'll take some. It was in my account.
It reminds me of a time a buddy of mine went to an ATM when we were younger, and he put his card in and withdrew some money, but he knew he only had, it was something small like $30 in there, and he accidentally put in $40, and it gave him $40, and we just kind of looked at each other like, So he went ahead and did it again, and he ended up, he did small increments, but he kept doing it, and we ended up with about $300 in our pocket, and we were like, yeah, awesome, until he realized all the overdraft charges he got. I don't think ATMs let you do that anymore, but yeah, we got some real fake money.
Some real fake money. Mm-hmm. Well, this guy doesn't have any money left now. It said his balance is zero. He's broke. Poor man.
Huh.
That's just PayPal. He might have some other money, hopefully, but... So
you can go to Dollar General with that.
Yes, that's actually pretty incredible that they take PayPal, and I'm wondering when more people are going to.
I really wish they would.
Because that's where, my Udemy money goes into my PayPal account, and I have nowhere to spend it, which is good.
Almost all of my income comes through PayPal, and if I don't want to wait the days to get my money, then I'll transfer $20 into my personal PayPal account and run over to Dollar General and buy a soda pop.
A cold pop.
A cold pop.
That's good.
That's what we call it here.
Cold pop.
Pop.
Well, that's it for the WTF news. We'll have some more next week, Google debacles and things like that, and some luggage at the airport. But for now, that's our WTF news. We'll actually go to a commercial break here. I'm going to play the Jimmy Fallon shout out again to DuckDuckGo because I love it so much. It's hilarious. So listen in a line into it. You can hear him mention DuckDuckGo. So we'll play that real quick for you and be right back on Live Speak Radio.
Thank you, Google, for going down in Georgia earlier this week and reminding me of that old song that I love, When Google Went Down in Georgia.
Well, the Google went down to Georgia. Everybody said, what's the deal? Because they couldn't find anything online when they were typing in the searching field. No G-Chatter emails come. Google is down and this ain't fun. Load up the Yahoo and DuckDuckGo. Should we use Bing? Oh, hell no. There you have it. Those are my thank you notes. We'll be right back, everybody, with more Late Night, everybody.
You're listening to Live Speak with Justin the Geek every Sunday at 2 p.m. He's bringing you amazing courses from great instructors on Udemy.com. Lots of tech talk, phone calls, and much more. Live every Sunday of every week. This is Live Speak. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to Live Speak Radio. I hope you like that audio clip. I love that. That's hilarious to me when he talks about DuckDuckGo and not using Bing. It's so clear that nobody wants to use Bing. So there you go. DuckDuckGo again. Everybody use DuckDuckGo.com. Try it out at least. I'm not saying use it. You have to. If you like Google, cool. But give it a shot. Why not? So on to our Kickstarters and our Indiegogos, the good ones for the week. We found some pretty cool ones on there. The first one I started out with is the Plug. It's called the Portable Bluetooth Speaker and Radio with IQ. It's a ultralight Bluetooth speaker and FM radio with rechargeable battery outlet plug, which it sounds generic, and I have a portable Bluetooth speaker of my own. But this one, it seems to have, they want $75,000 for it, for one, for the development of it, which means they're probably putting a lot of thought into it. And they've only gotten 1,300 so far, but it's got 42 days to go. So this is one that I would definitely recommend if you want to.
Yeah,
do
it's a tough
best.
market to get in. I think, like you said. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. I do like this though.
Yeah, this one's a pretty nice one. I mean, he said it all started when what it looks like is he had a speaker which was he left in the refrigerator. It was a little soccer ball, put it in the refrigerator, and he would keep a memo on it, like, you know, you're out of this, you're out of that. And it looks like he started developing the plug prototype after that. So he's come quite a ways, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing I like about it, who knows how well it sounds. I mean, when you get down to that kind of size, it's not going to be extremely good, and sending it over Bluetooth sometimes is pretty rough.
Right.
But the fact that you can keep it in an outlet and charging, that's one of the biggest things. You know, I use the wireless headphones. I've got the nano ones, and I've got a Bluetooth set, and I've got to continuously keep remembering to charge those every day so I can use them for teaching and all that jazz. And so this is something I might actually
Yeah, and see, I have the what's mine? The iHome speaker that I have. It's one speaker, and to charge it, I actually have to use my cell phone charger, the same kind of plug, the little micro USB.
Right.
But when I I don't always have that around. I would just like to leave it plugged in, charging. And this one has a USB port on it, so you can plug something else into it and charge it. Charge your iPhone during, I'm guessing. So this one's actually a pretty good one. The minimum, of course, is $1. What are they offering for $10,000 or more? You'll get a choice of a black or silver metal plug radio shipped to you before it officially hits the market. Then they'll fly you and a guest to Hamburg, Germany for a 3-day, 2-night-long weekend in April and set you up in the luxurious East Hotel, including a candlelight dinner, and organize a tour of the world-famous Hamburg Harbor in a motor yacht. And then, of course, you get to meet the creators. So for $10,000, they'll basically plan a vacation for you.
They need an angel investor.
Uh-huh. I know one, actually. I just met one today. No.
What's this next one? We got a waterproof...
what is the...
waterproof iPhone case.
What's that one? Let me find... Night case? Is that the one that it was?
Yeah.
Rugged, slim iPhone. Waterproof, huh? Fully waterproof? I don't know. Fully submersible, it says.
I thought we already had some of these out already, but...
I thought so, too. I guess now it comes down to people claiming that theirs is more waterproof, I guess. I don't know. Oh, they put self-illuminating glow tubes built into the rugged case, which glow for over 10 years without charging.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if you lost your phone in the bottom of your bag or
my mom has dropped her phone at least 5 or 6 times in the lake, up at their lake property. Wow, I could see this being helpful.
I mean, a lot of them are waterproof, with that little addition there of having the glowing part of it. It just looks like glow in the dark stuff. That's actually probably helpful if you do lose it. Not bad.
Interesting.
Yeah, 100,000 pounds they want, and they haven't made much of it, but pretty good one. 40 days to go left on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this camera stabilizer we got up here.
What's that one?
The Be Steady 1.
Be Steady 1. Whoa.
They've definitely gone over their... wow.
Holy cow. They definitely needed some money.
They are backed.
They're definitely 3, 4, 5... Wow. 76 backers for 149,000 pounds, and they only wanted 25,000 pounds.
That's crazy.
And they still have 18 days to go. That's a genius design, though. It's a great camera stabilizer. I'm actually going to put the link to this one in the chat here for people to look at while we're talking about it, because those that know camera stabilizers and, gosh, what are they called? I can't remember the name of the other stabilizers they have, but they're over-the-shoulder type things, and you put them on and you wear them, so they're steady cams or something like that. And this one's a little handheld kind of.
Yeah, this one almost looks like, at first I thought it was something you add to a bicycle or something because of the handle grips. But because there are some stabilizers that you hold with like one hand and kind of balance the camera, and it kind of keeps the camera steady. But that's, that can really wear on your hand. This is kind of cool. I mean, it gives you the ability to, they have a picture of somebody shooting a skater at a skate park.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So you hold it with 2 hands, and that's pretty cool. It looks like you can even mount. You can mount a monitor up on the top bar of it, so you can see what's so you don't have to
you don't
have your
look at
face all in the camera.
Yeah,
right.
And they got the full motor enclosure in there too. So, and they call it a brushless motor, so it reduces vibrations and things like that when you're turning it. So you don't have to completely turn yourself when you're turning the camera. You can use the motor to actually turn the camera a little bit here and there.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. That one's I'm gonna keep track of this one. I want to see how that one, what they sell it for, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's pretty in depth, and it could be pretty expensive. But
I'm wondering. I mean, that might kill them if they decide to go too expensive. And it looks like it's universal. I mean, the bracket to hold the camera on there looks like it could hold practically any camera.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. That's a good one. So that one's, how many days is left on that one? Did I say 18?
I think so. It said it's going to be funded by August 9th. Wouldn't that be awesome? Have an idea like that and know that in a few weeks here you're going to get about 150 pounds in your pocket.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's pretty great.
What about the Hear Me?
The Hear Me, this is something that John actually told us about, and I haven't really looked into it too much, but the idea behind this is really great. And it's basically, if you've ever wanted to comment on a website, which didn't allow you to, or wanted to let everyone know that something's important, whether you agree with the author or totally disagree, and the website doesn't give you that possibility, this one called hearme.com, it's a solution to change all that. It's a plugin that you install in your browser, and you can comment on every website on the internet. And now, I guess it doesn't actually come right up. It doesn't appear on the website, of course. But if you have the plugin, and then you click on the little exclamation point, the comments will then show up in the drop-down area. So it's basically...
That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what that'll do for websites and people, because you're always looking for somebody to, for comments or things like that. Or if I go to a website and I don't know anything about it, it'd be nice to go and see somebody's comment and say that they've used it or whatever.
Huh. Yeah, and she just started. She's only got like $16 out of... she's only looking for $5,000. I imagine...
I'm really shocked, too. She did start 2 days ago.
Yeah. But I imagine, with a $5,000 budget, she's either the developer herself or is probably just had the idea and is going to hire a developer to make it. Because there's not a whole lot to it, but it's that's a really cool idea. That's something somebody else might steal from her. She's got to be careful.
Yeah.
You're at the... You didn't put the link in there.
Yeah, that's a good one to put in there. And it looks, the most of the money, she says, it's going to word of mouth, basically, and spreading the idea of Hear Me, because obviously it's something that will work. People will use it. It's just getting the money for her social media and things like that. It looks like in marketing. Marketing's expensive if you do it.
Without a doubt.
So that's good. Get some money, spread that out there, and I guarantee people will use this.
It's very non-intrusive. It's one of those, it's just a small button at the top of Chrome, and
people, it's a plugin.
Tap it, you see comments, and
if they, more than likely, this will be a plugin that they just kind of put in with like the Java installs or Adobe Flash installs.
Right.
Right.
No, that's definitely good. Yeah. Make sure to toss that link in there.
That's pretty cool. Hearme.com, and that's HERME.com.
Here.
That's a good one. I came across this, actually. My boss showed me this Indiegogo project here, and I wanted to share it with people because it's the most funded Indiegogo project ever. It's called the Scanadu Scout, and it's the first medical tricorder. And what that is your body's information is in your hands, basically. You share it with your doctor, and others take health conversions and conversations, and to a whole new level. So it's basically, so you take this thing, place it on your forehead for 10 seconds, and in a snap, your stats are displayed on your smartphone. It gives you access to data which your body produces every day. So this thing...
It's getting all this information from your forehead?
Yeah.
What is in is there a chip?
No, it's vitals. It's things like your pulse and your heat, the heat of your skin, and things like that, moisture. They can all tell something about you. And this one got so much money. It's $1.6 million it's gotten.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they wanted $100,000.
Well, they got it.
And they had a lot of people talking about it, and that's how they got it too. I mean, Forbes magazine, Engadget, Mashable, it really is like one of a kind. It must work really well. So could you imagine going into the doctor and be like, all right, I need to get this and this because here's what's going on. Shows on my smartphone that my temperature's been high and my heart rate is a little low and blah, blah, blah. That'd be crazy.
I'd like to avoid having to go to the doctor all in general.
Yes.
Get as much information without that. But I have a skewed vision, I can't talk.
Something. I got a something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. $1.6 million for that. My boss actually showed me that one, so thanks, boss.
Yeah, thanks, boss.
Scanadu Scout. I wonder where they are now in production. Because it doesn't say when it actually ended.
Is there a website?
All the funds contributed by Saturday, July 20th. So, I guess it just ended, actually, on my birthday. Crazy. I did not know that.
Oh, happy birthday, Justin.
Oh, thank you. I totally forgot to even mention that. Yes, it was my birthday yesterday, and I am old now. I'm 31. Times 4.
I was telling people you're younger than that.
Oh, well, believe Alan, not me.
Yeah, John thought you were like 39 or something like that, I think.
Really?
I'm just kidding.
I hate you, John. Anyway, moving right along to our bad Kickstarter or Indiegogo of the week. I'm going to let you start talking about this. This is so gross.
Do you? The food... Ugh. Got a tongue twister. The food of the future.
Ugh.
What did I say it looked like?
It looks like pesto.
Pesto
paste
pureed with turd.
With turd. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
It's called spirulina.
Spirulina superfood. And they've actually looks like they've gone over their goal as far as
yeah, they only wanted, I mean, that's what scares me about it. They only wanted $600.
Yeah, I wonder if some people actually do this. They put a really low pledge just to get more.
Yeah,
they've still got 43 days to go. That's a lot of.
But
in looking at this, tricks
though, they don't. It doesn't look like they need a lot of money anyway because it's a fish tank.
No, it looks like crap.
This literally. The food looks like crap. It's developed in a fish tank with green liquid, and it basically grows and spits out this tube at the top and then collects in a cloth that you wring out the liquid, and then when you have it, it's live spirulina, and it looks like pesto and turd. It's disgusting.
Is it safe to eat this with sweat water?
Oh, I bet it tastes delicious.
Yeah, that would minimize my kitchen quite a bit.
It's
you can
gross.
combine it with fresh ingredients too. Look at that! Mm-hmm. Topped on some strawberry cuts there, man. That's
so gross looking.
Add it
to
your favorite shake. Yeah,
turn anything you want nasty green. It was like we were talking before the show. It's like, couldn't they have done something to make it look appetizing at least? I mean, they're showing a nasty green fish tank, and then this ball of goop, and then they make it nasty and put it on strawberries.
Yeah, it definitely looks like seaweed.
And I guess it's a type of algae. The thing is that there's actually a market for this because there's powdered spirulina and then there's live spirulina, and the powder they say is about $30 per pound, but for live spirulina it only costs $4 per pound. And the powdered spirulina has a really fishy taste. Imagine that. And this live stuff supposedly has a smooth texture and a neutral taste.
It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, you're still growing algae from your fish tank. I mean, just scrape it off of your fish tank and eat it. That's the same thing. I mean, this is 70% protein by weight or by volume, of course. So I mean, they're calling it the superfood, but I don't know, man. That's so gross.
I think we're gonna have to get some of this and try it on air.
I might have to actually I might order it and just have it growing. And I mean, it would fit perfectly with where I live. So I'll just leave it outside.
I think we should get some of this and then plug in our iPhone 5s, and I'll get my buddy to make a couple time machines, and we'll just do all that at the same time on air, and we'll eat our spirulina while time traveling and dying.
That sounds fantastic. What a great show that would be, right?
We'll have to have John on here to continue the show after we're done.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you can only get this inside the U.S. I'm sorry, John.
We need him to stay alive to finish the show anyway, so he doesn't get any.
Yeah, it's true. Well, according to this stuff is so good for you that, it'll turn you into, Superman, basically.
Yeah, but if we're using our iPhone 5 at the same time in a time machine, we are out.
We're done for. That's true.
Yeah. So if this doesn't kill us, that will.
Well, I want to see what I would get for giving them $10 or more. I just get to look at it under a microscope for $10 and a thank you card, by the way. Wow. Okay.
So really? I mean, so once you get this, you can grow it yourself, right?
Yeah, it's a whole growing system. Because
it's awful.
It's what starts it is a what's the word I'm looking for? A culture. I think that's the word. Culture. You put this culture in the water, and then it basically starts harvesting itself in this tube. They call it automatic harvesting, and it's just a tube that has the air actually pushes this gunk up the tube and into this nasty looking cloth, and you pull that out and you stick it in your mouth and you eat it.
Yeah, I mean technically we eat living things all day, vegetables and but the thought of the fact that this is not dead when we're eating it, I don't think. I mean, it's still living, right? So it's it's going in and
they don't make it look appetizing. I mean,
no, they really could do a better job of that. I mean, that first picture on that spoon. I mean the little pile of dung they got further down, that kind of seals the deal. But the first picture, wow,
it's disgusting. I'm sorry, but that is definitely our nasty Kickstarter, worst Kickstarter of the week. But they will get. I mean, they're funded. It's coming out whether you want it or not. Spirulina is here to stay.
Yeah,
now you can grow it in your bathtub.
Awesome. There might be some already growing in my bathtub.
Yeah, as I was saying, just go scrape your bathtub, Alan.
I just go to a public pool and swim with your mouth open.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Get a little pink eye, pink mouth, whatever. It's disgusting.
Wow. Good job.
Yeah, so that's our nasty Kickstarter. Sorry for that, guys, but that's what you get. Spirulina. And with that, that's it. That's the show. We're going to end it on Spirulina.
What a show it was.
It was a good show. Gabriel Weinberg, of course, fantastic guest. Check out DuckDuckGo.com and his book when it does come out, when he has time, TractionBook.com. That one actually did sound worth getting.
Yeah,
the interviews of all those people, that's genius. That'll be a really good one to get. So, and I'll have all this links and stuff as usual on the show notes after the show. Head over to digitalcraft.com if you need some private lessons from Alan. I'm sure you have some open spots for private lessons.
Got a few.
I've got a few. Busy man.
Busy.
As for me, I don't have private lessons. I don't like teaching people stuff, so just kidding. But I'm not. Next week I will actually be gone, and of course Alan will be hosting, and John's going to co-host again, right?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So John Rainey and Alan will be hosting LiveSpeak next weekend. I will be up in Canada. For those of our Canada listeners, I'll be in Vancouver, BC, at the Makeup Artist Trade Show, IMATS 2013.
I think we're going to try and get the creator of Spirulina on here. Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
We should get video of him and see if he's a different color than everybody else.
Actually, I'd be interested in get this Jennifer Glass girl from Hear Me.
Yeah, that would be a really good one. Why don't we work on that? John, get on it. Thank you. But that's it. That's it for us here at LiveSpeak. You got anything else going on at the Digital Craft?
No, just teaching away.
Good deal. Well, have a good show next week, and everyone, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week here on LiveSpeak Radio.
You've been listening to Live Speak with Justin the Geek. Every Sunday at 2 p.m., Justin brings you amazing courses on Udemy.com and amazing guests and great conversation. Miss an episode? No problem. Go to www.geekcreations.com and click on the episode to listen. And join us next week for another episode of Live Speak with Justin the Geek.